If you were born in the 80s, 90s, or early 2000s, you likely remember Avril Lavigne, the pop punk sensation of the 90s. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the career of Avril Lavigne, from her meteoric rise as a pop punk sensation in the early 90s to her unexpected fall from the limelight, her battles with mental health, her immersions into Japanese culture, and where she stands today. Get ready for a roller coaster ride of emotions. Let's look into it. Picture this. It's the late 90s, you're just a kid, you're listening to the radio in your car or in your backyard, and the song Complicated comes on by Avril Lavigne. It fills the airwaves and you just can't help it. Even if you don't like Avril Lavigne, you know the lyrics to the song. Avril Lavigne stormed into the scene with her pop punk anthems and attitude that spoke to a generation. This is when punk was at its all-time high. Everyone wanted to be rebellious. My 6-year-old brain thought that was cool. The black and white checkered wristband, the hair in front of like one eye. I wanted to dye it black. So Avril Lavigne was the skater girl that we all wanted to be. Or Sk8er Boi, Sk8. Avril's music was our teenage rebellion soundtrack. But the fame, my friends, is a double-edged sword. As Avril reached the pinnacle of her career, she started facing personal challenges, including a struggle with Lyme disease. So Lyme disease is a bite from a tick, and then the tick puts this disease inside your body if the tick's carrying it. Lyme disease has this effect on humans where it'll cause like drowsiness, tiredness, numbness, pain, swelling, severe headache, fever. It's terrible.
Morning, rock star Avril Lavigne opening up about recent health complications, revealing she's been diagnosed with Lyme disease, contracted from a tick bite. Lavigne says she began feeling ill last April. Doctors telling her she was likely dehydrated and exhausted from touring. I was scared for my life. Everything wasn't okay. In December, the 30-year-old multi-platinum artist breaking her silence, sending a direct message to a fan on Twitter that went viral, writing, "I'm not feeling well. I'm having some health issues, so please keep me in your prayers." She is grateful for the worst thing she's had to face so far, saying, "I've never been more clear about what I want in my life: health, family, love,
Often
and
when
happiness."
we go camping or out in the forest, we have to check ourselves for these ticks because this is a real serious disease. Imagine being a global superstar, traveling all around the world, having, all these opportunities come to you, and you're battling this disease that's constantly ruining your life. It was a tough time for her, but she's well liked. She's got a dedicated fan base, and everyone was rooting for her comeback. Despite her 20-year-long career and a meager 7 albums, the singer still tops the charts when she drops a new album. This strikingly nostalgic chord for her old listeners while engaging with the younger crowd as she continues her pop-punk glamour. But how is the 40-year-old singer still maintaining her punk rock legacy decades after her debut album in 2002? As a young artist, Avril Lavigne had to fight for producers to hear her and understand what kind of music she wanted to make. In the early 2000s, angsty girls like Pink and Lavigne were unheard of, even though many young Canadians liked that at the time. Older people couldn't wrap their head around that. So her instinct was spot on. Sk8er Boi still plays on the radio, and you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone over the age of 20 who can't sing every single line. A talented songwriter, Avril Lavigne has a hand in most of her songs, and she even co-wrote Kelly Clarkson's 2004 hit Breakaway. She's taken that creative spirit, freedom, and applied it to working with young musicians and helping them create. She's worked with artists like Willow Smith, Black Bear, Nicki Minaj, Machine Gun Kelly, and Chad Kroeger.
Like Machine Gun Kelly, Black Bear, and Mark Hoppus from Blink-182. And I'd say right now, those guys are all my dream collaboration. My favorite Blink-182 song, all of them, but like one of them is All the Small Things, and that was a song that I covered during...
But circling back, Avril Lavigne was diagnosed with Lyme disease. Avril Lavigne struggled to find a diagnosis for months, all while this parasite was settling in. It went undiagnosed for such a long time.
She began feeling ill last April. Doctors telling her she was likely dehydrated and exhausted from touring. But she says she knew it was something more. Her symptoms worsening over the months. Telling People magazine, I had to fight. I had doctors tell me I was crazy and they didn't want to test me. I had to learn about it completely.
She was in trouble. The Canadian singer was fairly certain she was going to die, and it became an inspiration for the hit in 2018, Head Above Water. Luckily, one of Avril's friends suggested that it might be Lyme disease and reached out to a doctor who recently published a book about it, and she explained her struggles, and she was referred to a specialist. It took years of antibiotics to fully kill the parasite, but Avril Lavigne says it wasn't too bad, and the experience allowed her to reach a state of being present and to appreciate what she had. So she's saying this Lyme disease was like helping her appreciate what she had, and it's her first break in her music career since she was 15, she said. Avril Lavigne is an advocate for mental health and even is vocal about helping other musicians with their mental health. She's no stranger to bouncing back, and she used her platform to spread awareness. Her openness about mental health issues has inspired countless fans, but that's not all. Avril Lavigne also has this bit of love affair with Japanese culture, which even I can relate to. Fans of the Cameron Explorers channel know that I am working my way over to Japan slowly. And if you give this video a like and subscribe, you'll help me get there. From embracing kimonos to releasing J-pop inspired songs, Avril Lavigne's Japanese adventures add quite a fascinating chapter to her story. Avril Lavigne is massively popular in Japan. She is known as the female Western artist to sell the most copies in Asia for her first 3 albums. The Punk Princess has released several of her best-selling tunes in Japanese and spends half her time overseas with her younger sister Michelle, who lives with her husband, Japanese rocker Ryota Kawahama, from the band One OK Rock. So One OK Rock actually came to Toronto and delivered this like great speech in Japanese, just explaining, kind of motivating Japanese students in Canada to keep going. So it's kind of cool to see this Canadian and Japanese relationship. In terms of Avril Lavigne's love life, she's been with a few different guys. Derek Whibley in 2004, Brody Jenner from 2010 to 2012, Chad Kroeger from Nickelback, who she collaborated with on an album. Kroeger proposed to her 1 month after dating. They got engaged. I mean, that just spells disaster. So for a while, Avril Lavigne, from like 2015 to recently, Avril Lavigne hasn't really had much activity in the relationship scene. In 2022, she was dating a musician, Maud's son. 2023, they broke it off. Shortly after that, she was spotted with the rapper Tyga. The pair dated just for a little bit, about 6 months before calling it quits. So what is Avril Lavigne doing today? Avril Lavigne is still making music. Her most recent album, Love Sucks, dropped in 2022, and the singer's still constantly touring and collaborating. When she isn't in the studio, Avril Lavigne has an active social media presence. She loves using TikTok and Instagram. So in conclusion, Avril Lavigne is still around today. Her journey is a testament to resilience, authenticity, and the power of self-discovery. From her rise to stardom with her battles to her health, for her love to Japanese culture, and her triumphant return, Avril Lavigne is basically Canada's unstoppable girl at this point. So Avril Lavigne might not be as famous as she was in the 90s and early 2000s, but she's definitely still out there making music, giving it her all. Thank you for checking out this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so I can be like Avril Lavigne and head over to Japan. Until next time, see you later.